All 10 houses have been announced. The 5 scare zones, the stage show. Are you ready for Halloween Horror Nights 2024? Let's give you an update. So right here at the entrance, you already see lighting for Halloween Horror Nights. They still haven't changed the emblem over there. That won't change until it's closer, probably like after the Olympics, obviously. For those of you who are not up to date, here's a recap so you know what to expect. While I give you my first update, I'm gonna go hang out by this cool zone that they have set up here. It's pretty cool. Okay, so the first houses that I do want to talk to you about is the IP houses. There are 3 of them. First one is the Ghostbusters house. Now this is predicted to be more like a fun house, sort of like Beetlejuice was a couple of years ago. Even though Beetlejuice a couple of years ago still got me at some points, because it's always about the surprise and the noise, not so much what's scary and what's not, even though some houses are just plain scary. Second IP house I want to talk about is The Quiet Place. I have yet to see the movies, which, yes, I know, I've been living under a rock, I must be. But I am gonna catch up before Halloween Horror Nights. And then the third one is Insidious. I was only able to watch the first part. I am not a horror movie fan, even though I'm a Halloween Horror Nights fan. I'm not a horror movie fan, I'll be the first one to say it. But Insidious scared the bejesus out of me. And so yeah, I'm excited about that house. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty scary. As we stroll through New York, we see a stage that's set up for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure that's what this is for. So I want to talk to you guys about scare zones. This New York section is usually a section where they do a scare zone every year. It's a nice space for it. The 5 scare zones that they've announced this year are Duality of Fear. I think those are gonna be the entrances, and you're gonna choose which side you kind of go on. And then they have Demon Queens, which sounds pretty interesting. Swamp of the Undead, which I'm guessing is by the Central Park area. I'll show you that here in a minute. Torture Fair, which should be this area right here, but we'll see. As we enter the San Francisco area, we enter another scare zone area for Halloween Horror Night. They're already starting to set up here. It's amazing how fast they get this up and going. It's like over here on this side, there's a very large podium. I'm assuming somebody's gonna be mic'd up and saying some things up there. Looks pretty cool. So as I'm walking through the San Francisco scare zone, and I'm wondering what it could be, and I'm thinking here that all 5 scare zones were announced officially, but apparently they haven't. But everybody knows what the 5th scare zone's gonna be. Blumhouse. So that's really exciting. Right across the King's Cross station, there's another little stage set up for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm guessing this is gonna be a photo op section. As we approach the big stage back here, near the Men in Black area, this will be the home to this year's Halloween Horror Nights stage show, Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. The past few years have been Nightmare Fuel shows. They have all been good. Some people think that they're repetitive, but I don't think so. I always enjoy them. I only catch them like once or twice per season anyway, so it's not like I'm memorizing dance moves over here. As we pass the Men in Black area, I'm always reminded that this is always gonna be the path to two scare houses for Halloween Horror Nights, and I get excited. Last year over here was the path to the Last of Us house. Over on the other side was the entrance to the scare house, The Darkest Deal. 2 of my favorite houses from last year. So let me talk to you about some of the scare houses that were announced this year, some of the original houses that I'm mostly excited for. A couple of the original houses that I'm mostly excited for is Goblin's Feast, Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America, and Slaughter Cinema 2. A lot of folks that have been to Halloween Horror Nights the past couple of years, more than I have been able to enjoy Slaughter Cinema, the original one. I did not get to go to Halloween Horror Nights that year, so I missed out, unfortunately. But I'll be sure to catch this one. Everybody seems excited about it, so it makes me excited. Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America. I'm Puerto Rican myself, so I've heard of a lot of monstros in my lifetime. Monstros means like monster in Spanish, obviously, right? Monsters of Latin America. But I think that's gonna be pretty scary. And then Goblin's Feast kind of reminds me of a house that I really loved a couple of years ago called the Wicked Grove. And I knew, when I went to Halloween Horror Nights that year, I knew that that house was hyped up already because I had seen videos of people who've been on the premiere weekend and the weekend after. I didn't go till like mid-September that year. So my expectations were already high and they didn't let me down. I left that house actually hopping, like skipping and hopping and running out of there. They got me real good on that one. So Goblin's Feast, very excited. Just in case you haven't realized from my descriptions of my past experiences, I'm not afraid to be afraid or to show that I'm afraid. I think that's part of the fun. I think if they're not scaring you, then why are you there? No, I don't scream, I whistle.
Yeah, because I heard you screaming all the way down there.
I wasn't screaming, alright?
Yes, you were.
I said I wasn't screaming, I was whistling.
So although supposedly everything has been announced for Halloween Horror Nights 2024, even though I have yet to see anything official on that Blumhouse Scare Zone, even though it's obviously the Blumhouse Scare Zone, I am so hopeful that we're gonna get a surprise that they're actually gonna do some sort of lagoon show this year. In the past, they used to do lagoon shows for Halloween Horror Nights, which is just a projection show against the water. I will be satisfied even if it's just that. Don't even give me the drones. Just give me a lagoon show, please. Right here at the exit of ET, I'm reminded that normally they hold the entrance for the Universal's Monsters house. So let's talk about that a little bit. This year it's gonna be called Eternal Bloodlines. And from what I read so far, it's gonna be like Van Helsing's wife or daughter. Not sure who she is, but her last name is Van Helsing. Along with the Bride of Frankenstein is gonna be fighting Dracula's daughter. Okay, I need to interject here for a second. You're about to see me go on a rant about how I normally don't like the Universal Monster houses, but I'm kind of excited about this one. I want to clarify the theming in this house because the backstories and the characters actually make this a very exciting house. So Saskia Van Helsing is the daughter of Abraham Van Helsing, who kills Count Dracula. Now his daughter, the Countess Maria, it's like Maria but with a Y, arises from the dead to get payback for her father's death. And I guess so she wants to kill Saskia. Somehow Saskia teams up with the Bride of Frankenstein, and Maria, Countess, the Dracula's daughter, teams up with She-Wolf and Anouk Sunamun. For those of you who are not familiar with the Mummy movies, Anouk Sunamun was Imhotep, aka the bad guy's wife in the movie, who he revives, and I think it's The Mummy Returns. Anouk Sunamun is also historically an Egyptian princess that really existed in real life. So not sure which version they're going with, but I'm sure either way she'll be a mummy. I'm gonna be honest, and I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm not a fan of the Universal Monster houses. I think I'm the only one who thinks that, for whatever reason. But this one I'm a little bit more excited about, so we'll see. As we exit DreamWorks Land, we come to our next scare zone. If I had to guess, this one's gonna be Swamp of the Undead. They have quite a bit of props already ready for it. This one's about some private property in Louisiana where you kind of go in and then you're swamped by zombies. Looks like that's like a sunken rowboat with a mirror on the floor. Should be pretty cool. Looks like they have a couple of areas. See the lights right there. A couple of areas where it looks like people are gonna be hanging out high up in the air. And this stage right here. Then another one of these stages here. As we enter Hollywood, this area right here for Halloween Horror Nights always has a very big and elaborate scare zone. Usually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mel's Drive-In and Halloween Horror Nights, just in case you don't know. They don't like the R and the V in the word drive-in, so it looks like it says Mel's Die-In. Soon this tribute store will turn into a Halloween Horror Nights tribute store. Those are always a lot of fun. As soon as they open it up, I'll make sure to be here so you can see that. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. All right, let's talk about the last 3 houses I haven't discussed yet. First up is Major Sweets Candy Factory. Now this was a scare zone a couple of years ago. It was interesting. A lot of people really liked it. I thought it was okay. I have a hard time seeing kids in horror. Probably because I am a dad. That's just my own personal thing though. So seeing kids being like psychotic and running around and almost look like they're possessed is never, it's something I just don't like. The Museum Deadly Exhibit. This one sounds interesting. A lot of people are excited for this one. And last but not least, Triplets of Horror. That one scares me a little bit. That one, whenever you have horror that has to do with something that's almost like realistic, like just like some psychotic killers that, you know, that one to me is always a little bit more scary than like some sort of sci-fi monster character. Unless it's some sort of demon, those scare me too. So that's my recap for Halloween Horror Nights so far this year of everything that's been announced and some things that maybe have been announced or not announced, and my wishful thinking for a Lagoon show. If you are interested in Halloween Horror Nights tickets, I made a video explaining all of your ticket options. I will link it in the description below. Last I checked, the premium scare night, which is August 29th, those tickets are still on sale for $350. It's supposed to be a night that has less lines. I believe that's when media goes and checks it out before everybody else does, which opening night this year is August 30th, and I will be there. So make sure you subscribe so you see footage very early on of what Halloween Horror Nights looks like. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and consider giving us a like and subscribe, as it helps my channel, it helps grow it, helps spread these tips to a wider audience. For more theme park fun videos and tips and tricks, go ahead and click above my head. For those of you who are planning to come to Halloween Horror Nights this year, I hope to see you in the fog. Say hello if you see me, but until next time, keep maximizing your fun.